Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Hairymuppet, and we are going to go for the 4th episode of today, and we're going to do some more Rails stuff, because I love Rails. And yeah, I think since we've got the blueprints for stuff, actually, I don't know. It's kind of like, I'm worried about whether we do a 2-rail system or a 4-rail system. And I kind of feel like for simplicity's purpose, we might just do a 2-rail system with roundabouts, because we got such little trains and they're so fast. And as long as I don't screw up the block size for anything, I feel like we shouldn't have a problem. Let me get a radar down here. There we go. No more worries about that. You're going to start... Is that all you're doing? I thought the radars did a lot more than that. Have you not got power? Have you not got power? You got power? I thought you did a massive amount. No, maybe not. This guy's got a Mark II there as well. Maybe I've just been expanding my horizon so much that it's just like, oh, is that all you do? Not that much. Okay. So, you know what? Let's just do a 2-lane thing, because I feel like it's going to be easier. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to have space for about 4 of these guys, and yeah, it'll just be easier to deal with in the short term. And we can expand it later. I feel like we can replace it. What we might do is, if it really gets to be a pain, we can replace the core sort of area around our main bus with a 2-laner and do that sort of thing, or replace the main area and a bus with a 4-laner, sorry, and then just keep the areas in the outskirts as 2 lanes. All right, so I am an Aussie, so I do everything is a left-handed turn, or sorry, everything's on the left-hand side. 1, 2, 3. So that is like that, and we've got power pole beautifully fits in the middle, so that is beautiful. Now you go over there like that. And this is an output here. So you chain there, and chain there, and chain there. And then after that, you are good. And then you are a chain there and a chain there. And then after that, you are good. So once it's on the main line and once it's clear of the intersections, it's good. So we're going to set that up there. We're going to set that up there, and then we're going to set that up right at the end. Now this is the top line, so we should be able to put the power pole like that. Okay, power pole like that. And then we're going to sneak a power pole down here, fold that into the template. And train lines, you kind of got to do everything you need to do on the train line. So if you're going out to the middle of nowhere, you got to take the power with you somehow. So it's really a good idea to put the power lines on the damn thing. Okay. Now, what we want to do here is, this is going to be our waiting area. So we've got to make sure that we get back onto this somehow. So I'm going to do all this manually, but eventually we will have templates. So do like that, and then we'll have another T intersection over here that goes down onto this thing. Maybe all the way over there, because I don't know how many waiting areas we need. Probably something in the line of 10 will be definitely a good estimate. Lights. Okay, we just finished researching tungsten. God knows we're not going to need that anytime soon, but it's nice to have it. And then as soon as these things start turning, we'll put another pole there. As soon as these things start turning, we'll put another pole there. Does that work? We've got to make sure these things line up, because this is looking a little bit wonky. Train tracks have a habit of living on a different dimensional plane in some cases, and it's very weird. So that is beautifully placed. This is... I'm a little bit worried about this. Let's see. Because you can do some funky things, like we can do that. Okay. We can't get it in between there, so I'm forced to the conclusion that that is actually correct. Because this is definitely too close. I feel like that's it's like a half-half. It's really, really obscure. Okay. 2. That's 1, 2, boom, boom. And this guy is 1, 2, boom, boom. 1, 2, boom, boom. Okay, so we just ignore that little bit of unelectrified space under there. Clearly is not important. It's not like an actual thing not being lined up or anything like that. Alrighty. So now we've got this traced over here. Keep this going. Now the important thing, which I learned from my mega base, is make sure that you have your block sizes good enough for the damn trains that you're dealing with. Now we got 121 trains here, so we are a-okay with regards to our block size. We're not going to put any signals on here. Actually, we're going to put signals like that, and then we're going to put signals like that on both sides of that. So the corner has signals at both ends, and then this guy, we'll just put some signals there, but when we got a proper straight one, we'll put signals in a little bit of a nice area. You go over, you stretch like that. Now let's go ahead and get this intersection done. We might as well leave this all the way out, just in case we want to make the waiting area simply stupid. Okay, so left hand, one more, there we go. And then right hand. So this is an entrance only, so we only have to worry about trains going into this. We don't have to worry about trains going out. So chain, you're on a chain. After you go past that, you're fine. You're on another chain. I can't choose that one, that's a bit annoying. And we're going to make another chain here because that goes into an intersection, and then after that, you are fine. You need a chain there. We're kind of diverting here. It's diverting from one line into two. So you don't really need a chain there, but you put a chain when things converge from 2 to 1. That's absolutely necessary. When things divert, is kind of interesting whether you do that or not. But I reckon you just put a chain there. It's just nice. If you don't put a chain there, then what you can have is a train will be going along here, and it'll go in there, and then it'll wait there, and its ass will be hanging out back. Now, if you have a chain, it'll just stay on the line instead, and it won't even go in there. So it doesn't really matter either way, but I don't like trains having their asses hanging out because it just looks stupid. If this whole thing is blocked up, you should be there. But that's never going to happen because this thing is fine. Now, currently, if we think about it in terms of blocks, which is how I've been thinking in terms of it, each block is separated by signals, and you create blocks by putting down signals. Now, at this point, what do we need here? This guy, I think we actually need some signals here, but I'm not sure. We're going to have to do a test here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this guy on automatic. He's going to run out, and he's going to go around to the left here, and he's going to go like so. He's going to go up there. He's going to go across there. He's going to go down there, and then he's going to be going in there, and he's going for this next one, which is currently covered, so he's fine there. I was worried we might need some normal signals there, but that seems to be fine. What we might do, though, is we might put a normal signal here, simply because you don't have to wait for the train all the way to get into the waiting area before you're allowed to come down this line. So we definitely want to keep the main bus as clear as we can, as fast as we can. We do not want trains to be lining up here forever, and that's why we have this waiting area. And that train, even with coal, was pretty fast, a 121. So I'm feeling pretty happy about this setup. So there we go. And now we want another corner here. So we're going to blueprint this guy. We'll have blueprints for straights and blueprints for corners at some point. Okay, there we go. and we will have better bots as well at some point. So let's get a nice thing here, and we'll have blueprints for these as well, entrance sections and exit sections and stuff, and we'll do all sorts of things like that. Now, we're not going to be building a mega base, so I don't think we have to worry too much about waiting queues at particular stations. We're not going to have an iron station producing iron plate that needs to have like 10 trains waiting it or anything, so maybe that'll be okay, but I'm feeling pretty good. Now, we're in 10 minutes. We're fairly happy with this. We might even be able to stretch this line across here and down here and have even more stations down this side and then exit like that and have another exit line coming down here or something crazy like that. So have a whole sort of U-shape of train stations all coming in here. I actually really like the idea of that. That would be awesome. But we'll see how we go in the future. Give me some lights. These ones already got lights because they're blueprinted. Excellent. Now, the last thing we need to do this episode, and it's morning now, so we'll be waking up fairly soon, which is awesome. Is it morning or is my night vision burned out? My night vision's burned out. Okay. All right. Well, I'll just have to wait, I guess. The last thing we want to do is we want to have a depot. And right here, I feel like is a great place. We've got some uranium up there, glows in the dark. Isn't that brilliant? But right here, where we are, I feel like this is a great place for a depot. And remember, with a depot, we need to have refueling capability. Now, there is a little bit of uranium here, so we could knock up some sort of fuel thing to actually make nuclear fuel and then get nuclear locomotives. But I feel like that's a bit too much. Definitely early game, and I feel like later on in the game, maybe we still won't worry about it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have this be a depot, and we're going to have an actual coal train whose sole job it is to get over here and transport some coal. And we can have a station over here, one of these guys, actually providing the coal and putting it in there. So that'll be, I think, our aim for this episode. So depot doesn't need to be all that huge. We do need to worry about throughput once again because, yeah, throughput can be a problem, especially with trains entering and leaving. But I don't know how worried I'm really going to be about that because I don't think we're really going to have throughput with tons of trains coming out. So we'll play it by ear, and what we'll do is we'll fix it later if it needs to be fixed. Okay, so you're going to go in a little bit sooner. Got to remember we need enough space. Oh, actually, can we make another locomotive here? Because I really want to test something. Let's give me a locomotive. We're going to give ourselves a nice template here. So that's 8. We got 7 carriages. So kind of a ruler. I want to create a ruler here because I've been screwed over by block size before, and I'm not going to get screwed over by block size again. So there we go. That fits perfectly, absolutely perfectly. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a brand new blueprint. This guy, no. Delete you. Delete you. We need a new blueprint. And that is our block size right there. That one's going down in the bottom left slot, and that guy is staying there for the rest of the game. I'm not going to get rid of that. I'm going to use that for block size calculations. See, this one is block size is a little bit small, but that doesn't really matter. It only really matters in intersections. Really, you do not want to have, say, if I wanted to have another intersection going off here, like going up here, the block size might not be big enough because the gap between this guy and the intersection would not be this big, and that is bad. Now this is just a normal signal, and that's a normal signal, so I don't care about putting the intersection too close to this, but next to other intersections is going to be a problem. So let's do that there. And It's a depot, so we don't need a waiting area for a depot. That's just nuts. So we're just going to go straight into it. And this is an entrance only, so we are going to be obviously extending this other line down there as well. I just realized I put it in the same spot that my train signals usually are, which is not good. So let's put it over here instead. And let's put the trains over there. So you go 1, 2, 3, and like that. And this is an entrance, so we can just do the chain signals off by heart. I think we're confident enough to do that crap. At the moment, it's basically a case of chain signals everywhere. And when you're happy with your chain signals, when you're happy that you're past the point where you can smash into other trains, then you put a normal signal. And that's the basic rule. The very basic rule is if you're worried, put a chain signal. If you're happy, put a normal signal. So that goes boom, boom, chain, chain. Yeah. And we are good. Let's keep these guys moving and put a light there. So now this is just going to be, it's going to be similar to our waiting area. Let's put a block down here just at the start, just for sanity purposes. I'm not sure we really need one, but we'll do it anyway. And then, do we need a chain or a normal signal here? I feel like a chain is best. So then we do that. Okay. Is that big enough? Yes, that's more than big enough. We can actually chop off a couple of those. Give it a bit of extra room here. And then after that, we curve it around and we go back and we do an exit. And I'm just going to copy this exit this time because I don't feel like doing the chain signals and doing all those calculations and stuff. So we might as well just do that. And then while those bots are going, we'll do this. And these guys will keep doing that. And we need a joiner here. And we need a light there. Do these guys have lights? They should have lights. They don't have lights. I don't think they do. We'll have to go to the original thing we copied the blueprint from and put some lights down. I don't think there's going to be a single big electric pole in the entire game that it's going to be a bad idea to have a light next to. We should just have lights next to all of them. Okay. So, there we go. Now that's going to be our main bus. So you go in, you go there, and you go back. So, okay, that's a good spot. Get us some electricity. We'll just move it up the middle like this, and then move it like that, and then put a pole right there. And we are all good. So this is going to be the first thing we're going to use a combinator for, and we're going to put that right there. And I realized that we need special insulated wire to make those, but we had some circuits over here, so let's get those. Now this, the way the logistics train mod works, I'll go into more detail when we're actually setting up proper stuff, but the thing is this little guy, the light, is an input, this little thing is an output, and this little thing is the actual station. So the input is you tell the train station what to do, and the output is the train station tells you what's going on. I don't really use the output too much. I never really need to. You can hook a circuit up to the main train if you actually want to find out what the train has got, what its inventory is. Beyond that, I've never really needed to look inside the train, but the input is very important. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this thing, and this is a constant combinator. So whatever you put in there will be constantly applied to the line. And you can do all sorts of crazy stuff, like I could say put on 1,000,000 iron into this constant combinator, and it would send out a signal that says there's 1,000,000 iron in this circuit, even though there's not. But what we're going to do here is we're going to use this thing, stop is depot, turn that on, and now this thing thinks it is a depot. So main depot, we're going to call all of these stations the exact same thing, and we're going to call them the main depot. So if we started using the logistics train mod, what we do is we just say destroy that, main depot, automatic. He's going to run off to the main depot, and as soon as he's cleared the train line, boom, this guy starts moving, so that's beautiful. But yeah, we're going to send all of these guys eventually to the main depot, and there they're going to sit until we need them. You are also going to go to the main depot. We don't need you to go to any of those. So go to that, time passed, automatic. And it's only got one station, and you can see the light just went blue. But, we actually need to put a thing there. Because we still need to have signals to make sure that shit doesn't get too crazy. Yeah, so that needs to be there. And then we need to make a chain signal here and a normal signal here. And so the trains, is this a big enough block size? Yes. So a full train can sit in this block, and we do need a chain before it splits up. So we'll just double check that. Beautiful. So what will happen is we'll have like 20 or 30 of these setups just constantly stacked behind each other like that. Can we make it a bit closer? We kind of can, actually. How is that going to work? Is that going to be good enough? What do we need to do here? We need to get coal. So that guy goes like that. That guy goes like that. We got a blue inserter that takes it off diagonally, so that's fine. We will also need at some point to get an unloading thing, because sometimes stupid trains come back to the depot with... can we reuse this combinator? I feel like maybe we can. And then we'll take that off, and then we'll put that... put that like that, and then we'll put that... No! Freaking piece of crap. Put that to the input, and now we're outputting depot, so both of these are depots now. Can we do that? I feel like we can. Oh, we will see. If both of them have blue lights at the right time, then we will see. Okay. So now we get a signal. Where are you going? Shift and then change the name. This one's called main depot now as well. Where are you going, buddy? You're going to main depot. There you go. Beautiful. Why are you not blue? Okay. This guy must have had something wrong. So let's take this back. This guy is now not blue. Ah, don't get too close to the train. They can run you over. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but these things are not working the way they're supposed to be working. And it's really annoying me, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a separate combinator for each one, just to make it simpler. Like that. You are main depot, and you are main depot, or a depot. Now, see, that one's blue, and that one's blue. And now if we take this guy and we turn him off, and we drive him back a bit, this one's still blue. So that's correct behavior. I don't know why it wasn't working before, but it's working now. So, okay, we are good. We've got 2 trains right now in the depot, and we can infinitely expand this off to the side. Now, what we said we were going to do is actually make a coal station, didn't we? We need a coal station here. And I don't know how big this depot is going to be, so I do not want it to be building the coal up the end. So we're going to make this start, this first station, the coal station. And then the coal will be fed into a warehouse, and then we will feed that warehouse into all the other trains. Go signal. All right, so let's just, first of all, set this guy up as another logistics, so that we've got places for 2 trains. So we've got 2 trains, and we want them both to be logistics. And then the rest of this episode will quickly set up the coal. So right click, left click, right click, left click. This is called main depot now. This is called main depot input coal. Maybe we'll make it fuel. We'll make it fuel so we can put other stuff in it later on and it doesn't get confusing. You need to go to main depot. Get out of here. You don't belong here anymore. Look at him. He's going to do a loop-the-loop and then he's going to come straight back in and go to the depot. That is fantastic. Now is where we're going to get interesting. So, first things first, we need this setup. Yep. We need most of this setup anyway. So that's going to be to offload the coal. You go there. Robots go out and do stuff. We're going to be changing this the way it outputs anyway. Just to go directly in to... We want the warehouse up here actually because then it needs to be somewhat close to this so it can read it and figure out how much coal is there. So, what did we need? Steel. We need steel for the thing. And I feel like I'm going to push this on and make this a bit of a long episode just so we can get this done. Because I feel like it's not going to be too hard to get it done. We'll just have to make sure we make up a station on the old base which actually has coal in it. So maybe that'll be a pain in the ass. Let's make a logistics thing here. You go away. You go like that. We got... Damn it, we're always running out of stuff. Always running out of stuff. And then we go over here. And then we go here. Oh, we already got a ton of that. What are we missing? The loaders. Nothing now. We've got so much stuff. And now we've got no inventory space. Oh, god damn it. Alright, you go in there. Because I don't know what else to do with you. Now we take you out. And we got space. Loaders. Where are my loaders? Let's build enough of these so that I got enough inventory space. Because that seems like a good idea. And now we're out of belts. At least we got a ton of iron. That'll be good. Why are you not there? Okay, loaders. So the coal will come out here and it'll start loading stuff. And don't need all of those. And then we're going to have coal coming out here. And we're going to have an inserter like that, that drops stuff over there. We still got long-handed drop. We really don't need that. And this one as well. Drop position. Okay, and then we need this guy coming out here. And we're going to do the same thing over here. And it just occurred to me that we do need to... Oh, we don't. Actually, we don't need to load this train, the train that drops off the copper, because after it finishes dropping off the copper, it'll go back to the depot in its own depot slot, and then it'll get refueled, so that's fine. Drop there. Go away. There we go. And we just keep these poles in this gap here because the trains are like 6 slots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 tiles. And then there's an empty tile here where you don't have to worry about the wagon or the cargo. So this is where we always put the poles. And let's just keep putting lights on all of them. Just so we've got so many lights, it's not even funny. And here as well. We want this to be lit up at all times. Alright, now we start working with circuits. How much... I got a ton of rubber. Why aren't I able to build these guys? Insulated wire, which needs tin. Alrighty. I love all this research going on in the background. It's so good. Okay. Time to drop some crap off. You know what? Let's drop off all of the wood. And you can grab all of the coal. Because I don't think we need that stuff at the moment. Alright. Bunch of these. It really does take a lot to make them now. So you to there. To let's think about how we want to do this. So I'm going to use a arithmetic combinator. Now this is kind of advanced stuff. We don't really have to worry about this normally, but I'm going to do it now because force of habit, and it's a good idea. So what this does is it takes the amount of coal in the system, multiplies it by 1, and then returns that as the amount of coal. Now, you may think that this is just silly and dumb and doesn't do anything, but what it will do is it will make sure that only coal gets actually input into this. And what we're also going to do here is we're going to take this off, we're going to take this off, and then we're going to put them both into this pole, and then we're going to put the pole into this input. And the reason we do this is so we can hover over the pole and see what signals are being sent to this guy. Because if you hover over it, you can't see shit. You hover over the pole, you see everything. So right now we've got positive 2.K iron, positive 1.9K iron. That's how much is in the system. So that's beautiful. Now these guys can take 40 each. So it's a total of 80 times, how much coal is in a stack? 200. That's a lot. It used to be 50. Good old Bob, I guess. Good old Bob. So 200 times 80 is 16,000. So that means a single train can take 16,000. So we're going to do a bunch of things here, and we're going to set this to be negative 32,000, and we're going to make this guy equal to 16,000. Now we do this for, so the way this is going to work is this is going to set this up as a logistics network requesting coal. So the amount of coal that we want is 32,000, and we only want coal if there is 16,000 or more missing. So right now we have 2,000, so that makes it up to negative 30. Now 30 is greater than 16, so right now it is trying to request something, and I think we've got the mod turned off for the message. Logistics enable debug log, so let's do that. If we enable that, we should see something eventually come up that says, oh, you know, can't find coal anywhere, so I can't bring you any. Main depot input fuel, so cresting degree 30. Oh, I need to get rid of this. Maybe that'll fix it. No station supplying coal found. So bottom left, we can see no station supplying coal found. Now, I might leave that on for now. I got annoyed with it after a while because it kept beeping and I couldn't figure out how to turn the sound off. I want this to be there, but I don't want it to keep beeping. But for now, we'll leave it there, and if it beeps, then it beeps. I need some more of these. Okay, we're good. So, question is, where do we get coal from? How do we provide coal? And we're going to answer that next episode, because this has been, this is 34 minutes. We're not going to do this episode with that sort of stuff. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next episode.